The great thing about Flogged is I get the chance to go out and about all over the British Isles to explore weird and wonderful things which people are passionate about, and today is certainly no exception. The place I'm going to visit is a real gem, and you wouldn't expect to find this in the heart of Lincolnshire. The Parrot Sanctuary was set up in 2003. It's home to almost 1,700 birds and is the result of one man's extraordinary passion. So how did it all start, and what drove Steve Nichols, the man behind it all, to set up this national sanctuary here, just outside Skegness? Steve, I've met some collectors in my time before on the show, but nothing like this. You and your extended family.
It is quite big now, yes.
Where did the passion for parrots start?
I've always been an animal-orientated person.
Yeah.
And
did you have a parrot as a kid?
We had budgies, we had cockatiels, things like that. But then when, in my early 20s, I started to become more fascinated. And then it developed, and I quickly identified that we didn't have a lot of knowledge of the pet parrot.
Yeah.
And no matter how fabulous they are and how nice we are with them, there was a big mismatch with parrots and people. I wanted to further my studies, so I actually bought one parrot, which was a cockatoo.
Right.
And I wanted
one of those.
That's right, one of the large ones. There was a reason for what I was doing. I didn't collect them as pets. I wanted to study them and to try to help them and help people that kept them. And I realised that there needed to be a place like this.
So not all of these are unwanted birds that people give you?
They're unwanted but loved. The people genuinely do love them, but they'll realise that they can't give them what they need. They need things to do. It's a case of they're a very social, interactive creature. So all day they will be playing with each other, they will be biting, they will be pinching food, they will be doing things that keeps them preoccupied. Yeah. In a cage, you can only play with that plastic yellow toy so many times before you become demented. What
sort of state are they normally in when they arrive?
That's the main state that they come in. It's self-mutilation. Yeah. They'll sit there just bored, pull a feather out, it becomes a habit, and then they'll turn up to us with no feathers on. So the self-mutilation is the worst, but it is a physical deformity. But as a mental deformity, most of them sadly actually do suffer from mental diseases, where it's stereotypical to human, where they'll rock backwards and forwards, and they just don't know how to present themselves with other animals.
Yeah. They're beautiful, aren't they? Striking colours.
Well, that's their downfall. If there was just a plain, dull brown, nobody'd be interested in having them in.
And what would one of these cost in a pet shop now?
Between £1,500 and £2,000.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
It's a big commitment, but we actually get people who will buy these on Sunday and then phone me on a Monday and say, can they eat fruit? And what size cage do they need? We have to go through it and say, right, let's start it from scratch. Why have you bought one of these?
Yes.
And they say, because it's sat here and it's fabulous while it's in the shop. Very difficult. It's one of those things that we don't want to say, yes, we've got nearly 1,700 parrots here and we should have them all and nobody else should have any. What we're saying is there are certain birds out there that are far better suited to being with people than others that are better off just in this kind of environment.
Name me some of the breeds you've got here.
Well, we've got 101 species. Now, if you imagine there's 334 species of parrot in the world, that means we've got a third of them here. And we've got all the macaws from South America and the Amazons from South America, the cockatoos from Australia, and then we've got the Indian ringnecks from India.
Yeah, but we're absolutely surrounded, aren't we? Shall we go and take a look at the rest?
No
I'm absolutely fascinated by them. Gosh, these are noisy, aren't they?
These are the real noisy ones.
Look at this one.
That's Peter,
Now, he's got more of an Elvis Presley haircut.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, did you see how gentle he was?
Oh, they're very dexterous with the beaks. It's just they're also very loud.
Wow. Oh, they're quite aggressive, aren't they?
They can be, yes. They're very, very aggressive. Right, Paul, watch your head as you come in here.
I'm quite surprised they haven't sort of fluttering everywhere.
No, these are not too. These are quite relaxed, steady birds. This is a lovely big colony, and they get their own nice feeling being together.
It's great, isn't it? It's really nice that they can actually fly around and interact with each other.
Well, this is just their play area for them to chill. This
God.
is Rio.
Do you know, I felt that. I thought, what the hell was happening then?
He's not going to let anybody go on telly without him being there.
Do you know the names of all of these birds?
Only the characters.
I got to say, I think you are the most eccentric collector I've ever met, Stephen. You know, I take my hat off to you, really. you and the family. Where does it go from here?
Well, all we can do is keep collecting, but
Yeah.
on a good side.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, we're going to be the largest rehabilitation centre for parrots in the world. And it'll belong to the UK, belong to all the guys that come to see them, and more than anything, belong to these lovely birds.
This fascinating place is a real testament to Steve's passion and drive. What an inspirational, unique individual.